Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to start with a series I'm going to do. I'm not saying it's going to be necessarily in order, one on another, but I'm going to have numerous topics in this series. Today's going to be the first one, and this is the narcissist torture techniques. How they torture you. And they do, they love to do it. And this one, part one, is going to be how they use the smartphone to torture you. So pardon me, I do have a list because there's a lot of things here. I'm going to mostly be talking to you guys, but a little bit on my list. So let's start with number one. All the things they do with their smartphone to torture you. Number one, leave you on red, meaning R-E-A-D. So most of you guys know you can set up your phone to give red receipts. So, or to the person that's texting you. So say you text the narcissist, if they have it set up, you'll see that they have red at the bottom, your message. So you know that they saw it. Well, they love to leave you on that red sign. So say you've written of a tome. A tome. You've written them a long discourse of what your day is like, what's going on. Hey, I did this, meetings were good, later on I'm going to do this. And you gave them way more information than they'll ever give you. So you gave them a paragraph, and then what do you get in return? Red. And it sits there for hours, sometimes a day. Who knows how long? Usually it's not a day or more, but usually it's hours. Why do they do that? Just to leave you guessing. To leave you wondering, well, why did they see this and they didn't respond? What's that about? They knew this was important, and they just left me on red. Well, they did it to get in your head, because almost everything with a narcissist is a mind game. So they're going to leave you right there on that status and leave you wondering why they haven't responded yet. They haven't responded, plain and simple, because they didn't want to. They would rather sit and have you squirm and wonder what's going on. So that's number one, leave you on red. Number two, very connected to this, it's far more devious. This is where you start to see the inner workings. So they will turn their red receipts off very strategically. The narcissist only turns on red receipts, in my opinion, not for the purpose of actually giving you closure or consistency to let them know that they've seen it, ease your mind. No. They don't do it for that. They only put red receipts on in the first place so that they can later take them off. Yes, to further mess with you. So they'll leave you on there, on that status, but then say you have a fight, an argument that they no doubt caused, because they cause 99% of the problems. They're going to then take away the red receipts so that now, from now on, when you text them for the next several days, week, month, as a punishment to you, you're not even going to know whether or not they have seen your message. So you get so used to seeing the red receipt, that's why they put it on there. It's like part of the game. Okay, I've sent them the text, they've seen it. Then strategically, to punish you, they're going to remove that so that every time you text them now, you're wondering, did they even see it? Why are they ignoring my text? Why haven't they responded? I don't even know at this point if they've acknowledged that it exists. Well, that too is strategic, just to play with your game. To play games with your mind. So they'll leave you on red, then they'll remove red receipts. 3, unrelated, but what they do. They'll bomb you with emojis, especially early on in a relationship. The narcissist loves to give you emojis. You'll send them a text, hey, I had a really great time. I'd like to see you again. It went well, whatever the case is. What are they going to do? Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. Heart emoji, wink, wink, wink. And little by little, you start to play that game. So you send them a text in return, and maybe you have a heart emoji or a wink. And then next time, they're going to send you even more. And then you're going to send more. But as that relationship goes on, you're going to find yourself as the only one who sends the emojis. Or very rarely, only when they breadcrumb you will they send you an emoji anymore. So it started out with them, hey, there's 10 hearts and winks. There's 8, there's 5, there's 3, there's 2, there's 1. And meanwhile, you're sending them 15. because you're trying to get them to go back to what they were doing, because they were just love bombing you and breadcrumbing you. So they absolutely wage war on your psyche with their emojis. As dumb as that sounds, you get used to seeing that. And then when you don't see the wink or the heart or the smile anymore, you're like, okay, what's with this person? Are they not into me anymore? Are they not? Well, A, they're probably not into you as much because the shiny luster has worn off. B, they're probably communicating with other people. But C, they're doing it just to play with you. It's a game. Everything's a game with them, especially on the smartphone. 4, they're just going to give you the most bland, mundane response. Going back to the first example, say you wrote them a tome, you wrote them a letter, an essay explaining what's going on in your life and why this is going on, or asking them questions, or you're trying to make plans, whatever it is, and they're going to respond to your lengthy, well thought out text with something like, okay, or yeah, gotcha, or maybe it's just a thumbs up. This is the stuff they're going to do. Why did they do that? So that they make your mind spin. I just spent all this time like concocting this this message to you, and well, it's kind of important, and all I get back is okay, or yeah, or thumbs up. Strategic. They did that so that you don't feel like they care, because at the end of the day, they don't care. And at that point, when they're doing such things, they know they have you, and they don't have to put on the show anymore. That's their way, though, of devaluing you. You put all this time and effort into it. The narcissist puts nothing into it. 5, this is a good one. Also on your phone, some of you know this, you can exchange with another person. You can allow them to see where you're at, your location. They can track you. So it's location tracking. And it's kind of helpful if you're in a relationship with someone. I'm not saying you do this to everybody, but you're in a relationship, because that way they can see where you're at in case something happens. Say that, for instance, I go fishing a lot. I go catfishing. Sometimes I go into places at night where I'm kind of far out and away, and it would be nice that they know where I'm at and that I'm safe. So if anything does happen, they've got my location. There's a million uses for it. Or say you're walking around a place, or you're on a trip and you're in different places. It's nice to see where they're at, and you can communicate and know, hey, that right now they're here. Well, they will introduce that, like the red receipts. They'll introduce that. Hey, let's share locations with each other. We can see what each other's doing. Keep tabs in a good way, a positive way. They'll do that, and then that fight comes, and boop, they're going to take that away. And then, because you once were able to see their location, guess what starts running through your mind? Well, why don't they want me to see where they're at anymore? Well, where actually are they? Who are they with? Why do they care suddenly if I'm able to see where they're at? They can see where I'm at. I don't care. I'm not doing anything. What are they actually doing? And your head starts to spin. And they do this strategically. It's the smartphone games. It's the torture tactics of the narcissist. Let's go to 6. They're going to hide apps and people in different parts of their phone. I mean, I've heard of some crazy things, guys. They will set up, maybe they'll just change the name of a person in their phone. So it looks like it's another woman. They say it's a woman. It looks like it's another woman's name. Actually, it's a code name for Kevin. They'll do that. They'll hide text messages. They'll hide phone numbers in different places. They'll hide dating apps and alternative social media apps in places where you can't even find them. You would never even think to look. This can be done, believe me. And I don't do it, and I'm not going to investigate what all can be done, but I can tell you it can. So they're going to hide their profiles, other people's messages, other people's names. They're going to cover them over with alternative names, put them in different folders. Their phone is a big mystery box that if you really grab one of their phones and were able to sit down and meticulously go through it for hours, oh my gosh, you'd be stunned with what you found. So that's one thing they'll do, hide apps and people in different parts of their phone. 7, flat out have multiple phones. Now, not all narcissists do this, not all people do this, but many of them oftentimes will have a hidden phone. And the reason is, I don't need to explain it, so they can have an alternative life that you don't know about. They'll keep all their stuff that they're doing on the up and up on their primary phone, so in case they ever needed to use it in front of you, or they don't have to worry about names popping up, they can hand you your phone because they're so honest. Hey, check my phone out. There's nothing weird on there. You go through it. Have at it. Well, they'll do that because they have another phone. Simply put. And on that phone that you probably never see, that's hidden somewhere, when you're not there, or you're asleep, or unbeknownst to you, they're going to grab that phone, and then they're going to get on there, and it's Tinder, and it's Facebook, and it's dating apps, and it's other profiles, and other names, and that's where they do it, because they're sneaky. They're so sneaky and devious. So 7, multiple phones. 8, they might put you, this is just to straight antagonize you, okay? They might put you in their phone under a pet name or a degrading name. So maybe your name is Brian. It's a great name. Maybe they'll put you in their phone as Brian 2. Does that mean there's another Brian in their phone? Not necessarily. Maybe they put you in there as Brian 2 because they have constantly compared you in the past with another Brian that they've dated and made a joke of it. Maybe you've become Little Brian or Brian number 2 or whatever it is, and they're going to put you in their phone as Brian 2 or insert the name. One example. Why do they do it? To antagonize you and to triangulate you with someone who either did or didn't exist in the past. Think about how convoluted this game is they play. But if it's not that they give you a pet name, or it could just be a name that they call everybody. You're just in there as honey. You're in there as sweetheart. You're in there as whatever. What they'll also do is they'll give you a picture for your profile that's degrading. Maybe it's a picture of some really, really unattractive person or some really goofy looking person. Or who knows, maybe it's some kind of cartoon looking picture. But they'll put you in there. Or if they're not doing this, screwing with your name or giving you another picture to degrade you, maybe they will just give you a nickname. Maybe you'll be in their phone now as Brian Miser with a weird goofy looking guy. That may or may not have happened. Because the ongoing joke was that you were really cheap, even though you're not, but they tell you that because they thought it got to you. So this is the stuff they do. So when your name pops up, when you're with them, guess what? It's fake, it's cheap, it's messed up. 9, after you block them, so this is after the relationship, and hopefully you've gone no contact, so after that would happen, they will then reach out to you with different phone numbers. I don't frankly even know how this is done, because I don't care to, but I know it happens, and it happened to me. So you get a weird phone number, maybe even a picture of the person, you're like, who's this? Who's Macy? I don't know a Macy. And they're going to start texting you weird things. And suddenly you realize, this might be the narcissist. So that happened to me, and I actually called out and said, I'm not going to tell you this person's name, but I said to this fake number, ask blank how she's doing. So I actually did it because I got onto it, and I never heard from that number ever again. So they're going to use alternative phone numbers after you've gone no contact, or maybe in the relationship to mess with you. Maybe they're going to stage that and then go through your phone and say, oh, see, you were communicating with this other person. And you're like, I don't even know who that is. In reality, it was the narcissist. See how sneaky, man? 10. This is a bonus one. I love this one. This gets to the depths. They will send you a carefully crafted text, unlike what I talked about earlier, but this one's for a purpose. A carefully crafted text that is actually about things you don't even know. So this might appear to be sent to another person, but accidentally it went to your phone. For instance, you might be in a relationship for 6 months and see each other regularly, but all of a sudden this text might read, hey there, had a really great time yesterday. Or a few days ago, can't wait to do it again sometime. You're like, what? I see this person all the time. Like, yeah, I saw you yesterday. We went and got ice cream and took a walk, and okay, yeah, it was a great time, but it's not unlike anything else we do. Why did they do it? Did they actually mean to send this to somebody else and it accidentally went to you? It's possible, but I think more likely there's something more sinister. They sent you a text message that looks like it was supposed to be for somebody else, for the sole purpose of making you squirm. Because then you start to wonder all over again, well, what did they do yesterday? We were together, but not the whole day. What else did they do? Who else might they have been with? Who is this person? Are they going to see this person again? They said it was going to be soon. Are they cheating on me? Are they triangulating? The answer is probably yes. They are cheating on you and they are triangulating you. But in this particular case, they may not be at all. They just did it to make you wonder what is going on. The smartphone torture tactics of the narcissist, guys. So these are just 10. If you guys have other examples, please drop them in the comments below. I'm sure there are things I'm leaving out, but look at these 10 I've listed, and look how devious many of them are. Some of them are basic, but most of them are devious. See, I tell you a lot that the narcissist doesn't have forethought, and it's true in terms of how they live their life. They don't think, if I make this decision for me, what's it going to look like 2 years down the road? They don't think that way. It's all now. But when they're manipulating you, when they're playing their mind games, their mind scrambles, oh yeah, they're thinking those through. What if I send him a text and pretend it's for somebody else and see how he handles it? What if I turn my red receipts off right now? How is he going to handle that? I'm going to stop sharing my location and make him wonder. Oh yeah, these are intentional. If you don't think the narcissist knows exactly what they're doing, they do. The only difference is they do these things so much and for so many years that it becomes clockwork. And it becomes like autopilot. So you know how you go to work every day, you make the same turns, you don't even have to think about it. You subconsciously do it. Well, the narcissist subconsciously does these kind of things I mentioned because they're so used to manipulation. It's second nature. It's like breathing. Removing the red receipts, changing these things, giving you profiles, making false profiles. This is like second nature to the narcissist because they're so used to corruption. So do they intend it? Are they malevolent and intentional? Yes. But they also become second nature because they're so used to doing it. So guys, this is the torture tactics of the narcissist. Part 1, the smartphone. I'd love to hear what you think. Hopefully it's useful. Use this as a tool as well for anybody you deal with. Okay? If you start to see these things done with somebody you're communicating with, major red flags. Better evaluate who you're dealing with. So hope you enjoyed it. That's all I have for now. Come at you in a few days with a new one. Until then, God bless.